Well, it's springtime and it's starting to become absolutely beautiful outside. Some might say hot, but it's very sunny. I'm here at Pike Nurseries with Rena, who's been here for the last 15 years. She's an expert on everything plant. Rena, what is the busiest season for you guys here at Pike Nurseries?
Well, we are definitely in the midst of the busiest season. I mean, people are so hot to, put color back in their world, and we are just filled with everything from soup to nuts, and it's just, you walk in here and it literally takes your breath away. So yes, this is definitely the high point of the year. I think if you're a beginning gardener, you want to set yourself up for success in gardening. So it's very, very critical to take the time to understand about preparing to plant. It's not just about going out there, finding something gorgeous, popping it in a pot or in the ground. You've got to prepare to do it right. You need to prepare the soil. You need to put something in the soil to kind of jack up those roots and get them going. And then you need very carefully to know what your sun or shade element is. That is so critical in gardening. So if you're not getting any sun in your garden, we have plants, a jillion plants that are specifically set up and can survive beautifully in shade. Then we have tropicals and all kinds of plants that can take full sun. In the summer in Atlanta, it gets so hot. So a full sun plant here does not mean you have to have necessarily 8 to 10 hours of sun a day. It means really if you have 4 hours of really good, strong Atlanta sun, these plants feel just like we do. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they're going, oh my God, please help me. I mean, they struggle too. So we need to always understand what we are trying to accomplish in our garden. And I would say that that would be the most critical element.
How critical is it to know the type of plants that you're selecting, and even vegetables for the really hot part of the year?
We keep being told that temperatures are getting warmer and warmer. Another thing that really adds more heat into the index is humidity here. Humidity just adds another layer of stress on these plants. So I think that if you're getting that kind of heat, you need to look at tropicals or things that are, they won't survive the winter here necessarily, but they will be gorgeous all summer. And you need to think about, are you going to be able to water, to take care of, plants are like children or animals. And if you're going to plant it, you need to be prepared to nurture those plants. Otherwise, you will not be successful.
Someone like me who has an apartment, you might have a different, your balcony might face differently towards the sun and during the hottest part of the day. Do you suggest that people should maybe go out and just kind of observe, where they're going to plant and, how the sun and the shade could impact that area?
Absolutely. I think it's important to get a game plan and to visualize what you see as making you happy. And a lot of times when people don't know if they're facing east or west or if they're getting morning sun, afternoon sun, I said, you need to go home and do some homework and then come back and we'll make sure that you're doing it right. So you're absolutely right. The sun is just critical.
Vacation, spring break, things of that nature. Is there something that people can do to kind of keep their plants and their flowers alive?
There are products for potted plants specifically that you can put in the soil that will retain some moisture in the soil. The best thing to do is have a great neighbor. That's the best thing. But there are ways to minimize the effects. And one of the simplest things you can do, especially if you have pots, is if you are leaving town for an extended period of time, pull them into the shade. Just simply get them out of the sun. That will help more than anything. The plants that are planted in the ground, their root systems are protected by the dirt, and it's the root system that is so critical. It's not so much the flower or the leaves. It is what's going on underneath the earth that you can't really see. So if you water really well, it's mulched well, that keeps the moisture in the earth from transpiring into the atmosphere, and so that helps a lot. So yes, there are tricks of the trade.
Now we are, almost in the peak of pollen season, and I know a lot of people suffer from allergies, but they still want to participate in having a nice green, beautiful pink, purple yard. Are there certain types of plants that you would say keep that pollen away just a little bit, or for people who suffer with allergies?
I tell everybody, people are always going, like you're in the checkout line at the grocery store, and they go, oh, the pollen's just killing me. And I always say, and excuse me if this is too racy, but I always say, pollen is just the result of these creatures procreating. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have pollen, then you're not going to have plants in the future. So I think that the simplest thing to do is, put a mask back on, or go out in when maybe it's not as windy, or just you have to use your common sense, or take one of those pills that people take for allergies. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's just pollen is a fact of life. And in the South, we live outdoors most of the year. And we've had a very early spring this year, and the heat has just come upon us, very quickly, which is wonderful. It means we get over the pollen quicker. And with all this wind and the heat, they're going to bloom faster, and I would assume probably in 2 weeks you're not going to have to think much about it again. These are living creatures, and they absorb carbon dioxide in the air. They put out oxygen. They're no different than we are. And you go to all this trouble to make something beautiful, then go out there, plop yourself down on a chair, pour a glass of wine, and enjoy it. Yeah, I know.
Next week, Rena and I will walk through Pike Nursery, and she'll point out those key plants that will not be harmed by the sun or those hot temperatures as we head into the end of spring and the beginning of summer. In Atlanta, I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss.